Hi everyone. So it's another really nice day out today, and this is going to be part 2 of my hydraulic third function kit installation. This is probably going to be fairly short because when I went to the hydraulic place they didn't have all the fittings I needed, so that's going to create another delay. But in the meantime, I'm going to install the hoses, which I was able to get. So I'm going to remove these protective caps here. This should be a fairly straightforward thing to do. Let me turn this down here like this. And when I got these hoses, I asked them to sleeve them. Okay, so this is an abrasion resistant sleeve. It's okay. I think I would have preferred the hard plastic wrap, but I guess this is alright for this purpose. Shouldn't be getting abraded too much. So these hoses are both identical, so it doesn't really matter where they go. So we're just going to thread them right on here. And then let me get a appropriate size wrench. I think 7/8. Okay, and in order to get that tight, I need to hold my other fitting here. Okay, that's good. Alright, that's good. So now to route these hoses, we're going to get them right in here like this. And hopefully, just come right up over here. And they'll attach right to the quick connect. Attach right to the quick connect fittings. So they're a little long, but that's okay. I'd rather have them a little bit too long than too short. Okay. And that lets me pull down on them a little bit. I guess we're going to have to make sure that we're not interfering anywhere. You know what I might do? I might put the 90s on here and bring this over. Let me give that a try. I think that would be better, and then I don't have to worry about anything getting snagged in here. Had I thought this out a little better, I would have moved this bracket over farther. I would have put this bracket over here maybe, and then these hoses could have had a nice easy bend here. But that's okay. It should be alright the way it is. So now I'm going to start the tractor up, and I'm going to run the loader up and down, and we'll see how it looks. Make sure nothing funky's going on. Make sure nothing's getting pinched. Alright, I'm going to grab a couple zip ties. Just try to get this arranged properly. Now these zip ties, generally speaking, the black colored zip ties are usually UV resistant, which is a must. Now, if you buy the cheapest of the cheap zip ties you can find, they may not be, but spend a few bucks and get good ones, and then you're not replacing them all the time. Alright, I'm satisfied with that for the moment. Now, do trim your zip tie ends. And when you do, try to trim them as close as possible. And the reason is, if you leave a tail sticking out, even if it's just a quarter inch or even a 1/16 of an inch, those little ends are sharp. I mean, they are really, really sharp. Now, just for fun, I'll put that on a little tighter. Trim that off. I mean, that's still sharp. Ideally, I will come back with a pair of flush cutters, and I will cut these off so they're perfectly flush. And then if you're working on the machine and you put your hand over here or something and you bump into that, you don't slice yourself. And I also turn those away so there's less chance of getting yourself snagged, because they will make you bleed. You don't like bleeding. Now, as I said, I know these pink ones are not UV resistant, so I am going to just not replace them, but I'm going to put black ones on here too. The reason I'm going through this trouble is because something I learned with the Firewood processor was you don't want these ends of the sheathing to be open. If it's open, what happens is dirt and sawdust and mice and whatever are going to get up in here, and if that happens, it will make it will abrade your hose on the inside. I wanted to be able to turn these. There. I can't turn it. Okay, good enough. Alright, so that was the easy part. Now the hard part. The fittings for the valve underneath the tractor. We're going to work on that next. Alright, what I need to do now is I need to work on these fittings. Now I'm not going to be able to do this on camera because it's just too tight in here. And as you can see, these fittings here, so this is steel tubing, and what I need to do is I need to put a T here and a T here. And I just realized these are two different sizes, but it's okay because I gotta go back to the hydraulic shop anyway, probably multiple times. But anyway, once I put a T in here, there's no way to reattach this steel tube. It's too heavy of a piece of tubing. I won't be able to bend it, and there's this piece of frame right here. So in order to do this, I'm going to have to replace these tubes with soft hose and probably come out here and come up with like a 45. I don't know yet. I'm going to have to get an assortment of fittings, I suppose. And then once I have that with the T's installed, then I can run my hoses from the third function valve down to here. Anyway, I'm going to stop the video here and then work on taking this apart, figuring out what I need exactly, and I'll be back. Before I get started taking the steel tubing off, I wanted to mention a little safety thing. Whenever you're working on hydraulics, or anything for that matter, you must remove all stored energy. Now, by stored energy, what I mean is anything, in the case of hydraulics, anything that can apply pressure to this system. Well, the tractor's off, sure, but you see where the loader is? The loader is up. There is weight on this. There is weight on this hydraulic cylinder. If I take one of these tubes off, the pressure from this cylinder has to go somewhere. Well, guess where it's going to go? It's either going to go all over me, or all over the ground, or otherwise make a huge mess. Worse, I've just released the pressure from the loader. Where's the loader going to go? It's going to drop down. Well, if somebody was standing near it or had their foot under it, that could be very bad. So, remove stored energy. That goes for hydraulics, electrical, anything. Take as much pressure off as you possibly can. Operate your valve in all directions. Make sure it's completely relieved. The other thing on this tractor, I have a 3-point hitch. Put the 3-point all the way down. Now I know there's no pressure on the 3-point hitch. I don't think that will affect anything, but it might. So, to be safe, that's all the way down. There should now be no stored energy on here. And now I will proceed to take the tubes off and try not to make a huge mess. I am back from the hydraulic shop. I've spent several hours there getting hoses made, and I want to show you what I've had to do here, and I'm really hoping that all this works out. So this is the high pressure line that comes from the diverter valve to the loader control valve. In other words, the valve that makes the loader go up and down and the bucket tilt, etc. But because I have to put a T off the diverter valve, this has to go, because there's no way I can bend this enough to make it reattach. And the same with the return line. You know, I ran into the same issue. I can't move it far enough away to get it to reattach when I put the T in there. So I went and I got hoses made, and of course they were out of a lot of fittings, so I had to get adapters to get to the right size. So it's kind of a convoluted mess here. If you go to do this, hopefully you have better luck than me, and the hydraulic shop has all the parts in stock. Alright, anyway, I'm going to try to get these hoses installed, but I want to show you over here. So that's the loader control valve that I'm talking about. And on the left-hand side, right there in the back, that's the return line. And it's tight. I mean, there's not a lot of room to get a wrench in. The pressure line is over on the other side in the back, and that's fairly easy to get to. So now I'm going to attempt to get these hoses installed, and I'm not going to film this because there'll probably be a lot of profanity and bash knuckles and other things going on. So I'm just going to pause the video for right now, and then hopefully I'll have some good luck here, and I'll come back shortly.